Thank you so much, sir, for sharing various dimensions of entrepreneurship. Now I would like to introduce our next speaker, Mr. Manoj Kumar. He is currently working as Director Apex Group and is a pioneer in e-commerce and a diversified professional with 17 years of successful track record in challenging leadership roles in reputed firms like GE Capital, Tata Group and Bharat Forge. He has a flair for running early stage businesses and deep understanding of enterprise-wide issues and risks with an ability to strategize and execute. I would also like to add on for the benefit of my student that he was my boss at GE and I have learned a lot and it is a great feeling to share the dice with him. Please, I would like you to come and share your thoughts.
Thank you, Vinay. Thank you for the kind words. I'll try to make it very simple. And I will try to address this talk more toward the students because the faculty knows what to do in life and they've already got there. And other people already have achieved a lot. So please feel free to ask questions. If you don't ask questions, and I found that nobody was raising their hand, nobody had a query, nobody had a different thought. If you don't have that, you will never be an entrepreneur. Because you will be an entrepreneur when you question something, okay? So at least one question and I'll be happy there's some entrepreneur sitting out there. First, you got to, as a student, you got to realize when are you going to be ready as an entrepreneur, okay? Already experts have pointed out, the earlier the better in life. It's not going to strike you when you are, let's say, done your MBA, got the best CPA, or got that great job in Wipro, GE, IBM, moved up in corporate life, and then, bang, one bulb is going to light up and say, entrepreneur, entrepreneur, entrepreneur. It won't happen. If any one of you has not done anything in the spare time, summer holiday, or at least given tuitions to a kid next to your house, okay? Or let's say if you are good in, let's say cooking, baking, if you have not sold 4 cakes in your summer holidays, you will not be an entrepreneur. Because you have not understood that being an entrepreneur is trying to identify an opportunity where you can contribute what you can call value. And then for that particular value, you can expect to be paid. Okay, it's as simple as that. How much does a cake cost? A cake costs 200 rupees a kilo, let's say for example. If you're not able to bake that cake and sell it for let's say 180 because you're competing with the other guys, if you're not able to do that, you'll not be an entrepreneur. And if you're selling that cake for 180, what does it mean? Will you get all of that 180 in your pocket? No. There's baking soda, there's egg, there's butter, etc., etc. So that all will cost about 160. So what you'll get is only 20 left out. Okay. So unless and until you can add some value, and as an entrepreneur, you will be able to take part out of that value as your reward. So decide early whether you want to be an entrepreneur or not. Second, how do you select what you want to do? And when? Selecting is tough, but ideally it helps if you can do something about which you're passionate about. And the only reason being, if you're passionate about something, you will be willing to take a little bit of pain as you go along the way. For example, if any one of you is good in photography here and you would like to be, let's say, setting up a service in photographic solutions, and if you had to, let's say, for 6 months work hard in that, 18 hours a day, you love to do it perhaps. Whereas, let's say, you love photography, but you want to set up a business in, let's say, a call center, you might still do it, but you will not be willing to take the pain after some time and maybe exit that venture early on. So pick up your strength, pick up what you're most passionate about, and if your venture is in that area, that is what is most nice. Third, once you think of being an entrepreneur, you've got to spend your resources extremely wisely. I mean, there's a term called bootstrapping, if you've heard of it. And you actually understand that when you start a venture. You don't understand it before. It simply means once you have capital, once you start your work, you've got to be able to burn your money very, very efficiently. It means that in the lunch, when you're hungry, you don't order that wonderful pizza, right? Okay? You learn to live with a sandwich which you get from home. You learn to take the metro more often. Yeah. If you intend to burn your cash in trying to take up a taxi, eat more pizzas, you would not be an entrepreneur for long. Right? So you got to be able to start off in the most basic way you can. Look at Microsoft. How did they start the whole thing? It was in a garage. Yeah, the rolling shutter. Shh. That's how it starts. But if you take up a wonderful swanky office, it becomes very, very difficult to sustain it for the first few years. When you start your own venture, be very smart about how you cash. There are many ways you can do that. One, you're setting up a small office. You could buy up all the furniture and IT infrastructure inside that in a used condition. Yeah. If you, let's say, wanted to buy some laptops and desktops for your office, you would get fantastically wonderful performing laptops and desktops which are about 2-3 years old, or maybe about 20% of the cost. So when you have that money and you want to be an entrepreneur, invest that money wisely so that you can get the best return for your whole operation. So think very smartly about that. Okay, you decided to be an entrepreneur, you're passionate about it, but you will not be able to do it alone. You need a team to work with you. The biggest challenge you will have as an entrepreneur is finding the right kind of talent to work with you. Right? Like you pass out of here, you're an MBA. Now you would want another MBA to come and join you. You would want another smarter guy to come and join you. That's where the great challenge is. Yeah? Because the other guy will come and join you only if he sees that what? A, this idea is going to work. B, the person who's driving it is passionate enough. C, it's not going to fail in the near future. Right? So you've got to be able to sell yourself very well, sell the idea very well, so that you have a good pool of people who are willing to work for you. And at the end of the day, if their venture succeeds, it's going to be because of the people who will work along with you. So if you don't attract great talent, it won't work. Then, as an entrepreneur, as you set out on that journey, you've got to make sure as to how you will fund the business. That's very, very critical. Yeah? If your dad has a lot of money, he gives you the money, wonderful. But when dad will lose patient after 2-3 years, you blow up his 5 crores in 2 years, what will you do after 2 more years? He's not going to give you more. You go to mom and ask her, she'll give you. फिर दादी के पास जाओगे, नानी के पास जाओगे. At the end of the day, you've got to be able to have a plan where how will you get funding for your whole business. And if you intend to take the route which is taken today of going to the VCs and the angels, they would love to see if you are bootstrapped, spend your cash wisely, are you making enough money, how are you burning your money, are you getting the, what kind of proceeds you get month on month, consistent way or not consistent way, are you hitting some jackpots or a lottery, or is it very, very consistent, nice income stream which is coming on. So you've got to think of all of that very, very early up. So think of how will you fund the business, because nothing is more disappointing for an entrepreneur to start the venture, start the work, and then figure out, hey, I don't have working capital. I have this wonderful order of 2 crores coming in, but I don't have the working capital to, let's say, buy the raw materials, or let's say to buy the services necessary to produce that. So fix up, or start planning to fix up how we'll fund this. And finally, as you go through this whole journey, there's going to be a great amount of, I would say, real big time failures and real big time learnings. And if you fail in an entrepreneurial venture, any one of the ventures, it does not mean that you would not succeed in the next one. You will fall, you should be able to rise up again and pick it up the very next day. In fact, I'll tell you a story. Like everyone has been telling a story, and stories are nice to tell. I know of a guy called Michael Killer. He started off an .com based business in maybe about 99, bombed. Got up again, started one in 2000, bombed. 2001, bombed. If you look at his LinkedIn profile, it's wonderful. He says, started this, so and so, failed. Started this, so and so, failed. Started this, so and so, failed. How many of you will be brave enough to say, I started this, I failed. I started this, I failed. But that's one wonderful thing. Started this, failed, learned this. Started this, failed, learned this. Started this, failed, learned this. The 4th venture he started off, it worked out pretty well. And now he offers business solutions to the Fortune 500 companies, no less. He's got about 20 clients of the Fortune 500 and he's very happy with them. Did he get it right the first time? No. I mean, we know for a fact that he failed 3 or 4 times. The 5th time, he was pretty lucky. Not lucky, I mean, he did put in those efforts for a long time and made it work. So, if you want to be an entrepreneur, be ready for the tough journey, and if you fail, that's not a failure, that's a great learning thing, and make the best use of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Manoj, for sharing your thoughts. I'm sure our students would definitely benefit from it. Our next speaker is Mr. Deepank Bhandari. He has done engineering from IIT Delhi and MS in finance from ESCP Europe Business School, Paris. He has experience in the field of investment banking, consulting, and angel funding. He has been associated with many startups and is the co-founder of Great Eastern Apparel Private Limited. I would like to invite him to come and share his thoughts with us.
Thank you, Mr. Chirania, for the kind words. Thanks, IILM Management, for having me here to speak. I'm much younger than the experts here, but still, nonetheless, entrepreneurship is all about the experience you take on the go. So, as Mr. Chirania said, I come from a banking background. I'm an engineer from IIT Delhi. I've done more than 6 to 7 kind of jobs in the last 4 to 5 years. Tried from consulting to investment banking, trading, M&A, private equity. I mean, I was not happy in any of the jobs I was doing. Was in London for 3 years, was working with best of the companies, but was not getting what I wanted in life. Why? Because I was not exposed to that kind of entrepreneurial culture, which should be inculcated at this stage in the college. Unfortunately, my mentors, which are my seniors from IIT Delhi, which you've seen a lot in these days in the news, they've been very kind and helpful to set up the whole thing in India. So I would conclude my speech is very precisely about the topic, which is getting ready for the kickstart. Okay, so I would start with the first and the basic idea of entrepreneurship. We call it E-ship these days. There's no definition actually. Entrepreneurship is it's a value creation game. You have to be on the go. It's like you being a farmer. You have to do your job every year to reap your benefits out of what you've done. So you have to create value every now and then. The day you stop becoming an entrepreneur. And success, failure is a lot dependent on the external environment and your internal environment as well. So success should not be a word in our dictionary as an entrepreneur. So I'll start with the basic thing, being an entrepreneur. So I'll start with the first point, that's called an idea. So how many of you have an idea at this stage of life that you're bored out of your regular job and you say, I'm just bored, let's just do this. So idea is the first important thing for an entrepreneur. It should create value. It should solve a problem at the ground level. Without an idea, there's no entrepreneurship. That's how I perceive it. There's a lot of way people perceive entrepreneurship, but I think being an entrepreneur, you should create a problem. You should solve a problem rather than just do what other people are doing. Second point being for a kickstart for an entrepreneur is founders. Founders are the key to any idea. Okay, a lot of us have got thousands and thousands of ideas, but the key lies with founders. I've worked with a lot of venture capitalist companies, and a lot of people who are ready to invest. They don't give much weightage on the idea. They do give a lot of weightage on the founders. Who are the people who are driving it? Do they have the firepower to drive it to the next level? Who are the people they're associated with? The network. All these factors play a very important role when it comes to entrepreneurship. The third point is funding. You need money. Without money, there's nothing. You need to create money, you need to earn money, you need to borrow money at every stage of your life being an entrepreneur. So you have to be very smart, street smart about it. Like you have to understand the value of money right from your day one till the time you exit from that venture. Then a lot of business plan. I mean, you guys study in a business school, so I'm not going to touch more about. I'm not going to speak more about business plan, but you should have a nice business plan. How your venture is going to get monetizable, how the monetization is going to come, how the scalability is going to be there, how much is the adaptability in the ground root level. Then finally the team. Being an entrepreneur, I used to play for Indian basketball team as well. So I believe that without a team, you can't do much. No matter how skilled you are, how aggressive you are, how much firepower you have. It's like a basketball game. You know, if your defense is loose, you cannot do much about offense as well. So your team should be very creating a nice team for an entrepreneurial venture. I think this is the biggest challenge as an entrepreneur we face these days. Bring in the right kind of people at the early stage of any company is the biggest challenge. Then, execution. Well, ideas are created, funds are raised, but a lot of companies, they fail because of lack of proper execution. Well, I'm a big fan of Mr. Branson when he says, screw it, let's do it. That should be an ideology of any entrepreneur venture. When you should just do it. Like, you should not. Execution should be the key in any kind of entrepreneurial venture. You should do it. The timelines, the deadlines, the management, the planning, everything should be chalked out. We do learn all these things in schools, but they are on a very virtual scale. We need to understand it from ground, and how you can learn it only by doing it. So execution is the key. Then mentors. I think mentors, they play a lot. They play a lot of important roles. So you should find the right kind of people to connect with through your alumni network, through first network, second network, to guide you. And so you should learn from their mistakes. You should not repeat their mistakes. You should understand the game as well. I mean, I work in technology space. We design mobile application. We raise the fund at the seed level. We invest at the seed level. We approach venture capitalists. We get our stakes out of the company at the early stage itself. So the whole game which is happening around the entrepreneurial mindset, you should be aware of that as well. So read about it, how it's happening, what kind of ventures are being taken over, what kind of ventures are in a hot space right now. If you look at the Economic Times, it's all about e-commerce. 3 years back, it was all about the Nikes, the Adidas, the Tatas, the Zaras, So the game is changing completely. Now, if you see it, the television, it's all Flipkart, Snapdeals. I mean, just look at the landscape, the way it's changing. The next big thing is going to be technology information. You should step into the right space. And the drive is the most important thing. And most of the time we don't accept it, but I think money drives us the most. We should not neglect that factor as well. Of course, we should do what we like, but I think we should step into the kind of sectors which gives you the money, because as soon as you'll run dry, trust me, I mean, your skills, your passion, they all go on the back seat when it comes to the basic needs of any entrepreneur. That is the money. And there should be no plan B. We as Indians, we have got a lot of plan B, yeah. So there should be no plans B in our plans. Like, if this not happens, then I'll do this. If this not happens, then I'll do this. There should be only one plan. One plan should be your venture, your entrepreneurial mindset. That should be the only plan. That's it more or less. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Deepank. It has been a pleasure listening to you. Our last speaker is Mr. Keshav Bansal. He's our alumnus and we are proud of you. As Marketing Head of Intex Technologies, Mr. Keshav is responsible for planning, development and implementation of all of the marketing strategies of the organization. He has been honored with Young Entrepreneur of the Year 2013 by the NCN magazine for enhancing the brand image. Mr. Keshav has driven various strategies and product level go-to-the-market strategies, including many 360 degrees marketing campaigns. I would like you to come and share your experience with our students. Thank you.
Good morning, all of you. I would first of all like to thank Shivani ma'am for having me here. It is indeed a pleasure, and it's a great honor for me to be here speaking. It gives me immense pleasure that few years back I was sitting over there amongst one of you, and today, 4 years afterwards, I'm here as a speaker. I'll be sharing my achievements, the little achievements I've done. Well, all the experienced speakers have shared the various stories of various people. I, as a person who do not have various stories, I am here to share my story with you, and what obstacles, what things turned around the entire game. It was in my 3rd year in IILM, the initial days. My father suggested me to get into the family business. When I told you, our family runs a brand called Intex. We are the leaders in mobiles, LED TVs, speakers, and various other consumer durable and IT accessories products. Honestly, that time I did not have any inclination towards business or entrepreneurship. I was like any other teenager. I was big time into partying. I was big time into socializing, hanging out at car markets, going out for drives to mood fills, and having a blast. But all that any son has that respect towards his father, so he did manage me to get into the business. I started as an intern in the logistics department with the most basic job, which was of loading and unloading of boxes in the scorching heat in the months of August, June, July. Went on there for 3 months, and what after 3 months, it still didn't excite me. I had this thing in myself since the beginning. I wanted to become an actor and a model. Well, I still have that, by the way. So, one fine evening, fathers generally give lessons, So, aapko sunna padta hai. So, my father was giving me a lesson, but there was this one statement which he made and which stuck to my heart and which changed the entire scenario. The statement was so powerful that a boy who never wanted to see the gate of his office is now, at times, the first one to reach the office and many a times the last one to leave the office. What was that statement? The statement was very simple. It was, केशव कोई बेवकूफ ही होगा जो अपने बाप का इतना बड़ा एम्पायर छोड़ के मॉडलिंग और एक्टिंग में करना जाएगा. तुम्हें करना है तो पैरेलली करो ना. Well, to many of you it may sound simple, but it was a complete turnaround in my life. I decided that day that I will enter the business, give my 200% to whatever is required, and turn the entire game in the industry, in the brand. Well, as most of the speakers over here have said, that entrepreneurs, are mostly first generation entrepreneurs. My father is the first generation entrepreneur. I am the second generation entrepreneur. So yes, the difficulties he's gone through are something which I cannot really imagine. But let me tell you to each and every one of you that when I entered the brand, I carried the tag of son of the CMD. So that is a very big obstacle, if I were to put it like that. People, when you have an organization with 4,000 plus employees, it is very important for your entire team to accept you. So for myself, it was, I would say, it was a much more greater task first to prove something and then getting established within the team. Every employee wants to look forward towards you as a colleague and not as the CMD, as the son of the CMD. So 2-3 years back, we entered this smartphone mobile space.
and as you must be knowing, the industry is completely flooded with loads of mobile phones. What is the differentiator that we create for as an entrepreneur? As many of the speakers quoted, innovation. So I got into products, we got the state of the technological art products, and the biggest thing was the brand image. I took this responsibility of revamping the entire brand image in had in consumer mindsets. Therefore, I took charge of the marketing department. And there was no looking back. It was that day and it is today. I've executed many 360-degree aggressive marketing campaigns. We've roped in Farhan Akhtar as the brand ambassador for the Pan-India mobile division. Have gone into region-specific marketing approaches. Have roped in Sudeep as who's the Salman Khan, if I were to put it like, of Karnataka. Anushka Shetty, who's the Priyanka Chopra of Andhra Pradesh, as the brand ambassador for the mobile division. So there were many things which I've done to revamp the brand image, and what all has this contributed to? When I joined the business, as a brand, we had a turnover of 1,000 crores roughly, and the mobility division had the turnover of around 400 crores. With all these little efforts of mine, we've managed to have a market share in the mobility division across India from almost negligible to 8% today. We saw 300% jump year-on-year growth in the mobility division from 400 crores to 1,300 crores. And this year we are targeting again 100% growth in the mobile turnover to 2,700 crores. And as a group, 3,500 crores. So those are the things that my little efforts have contributed towards. As a group, financial year 15-16, we are again targeting to become a $1 billion company. So there has to be a vision, there has to be a leading force. What are you eyeing at? Shivani ma'am told me to speak for not more than 5 to 7 minutes, so I'll keep it very short because I don't. So I'll tell you very simple. 4 years back I was sitting there. The biggest concern and dilemma which we as students used to face, and I'm sure you guys must be having, karna kya hai yaar? There are so many thoughts. There's no clarity of thoughts. मेरे अंदर अभी भी वो कीड़ा है कि रहेगा वो हमेशा कि एक्टर बनना है, मॉडल बनना है. लेकिन मैंने क्या करा है, मेरे एम्प्लॉयज ने मुझे कन्विंस करा, मेरे जितने एड्स आते हैं उसमें मैं आने लगा हूँ. तो माई टीम हैज एक्सेप्टेड दैट. तो प्रैक्टिकली दोनों काम होने लगे. So I think I strongly believe that if we have clarity of thoughts and what we are looking for, what we are aiming for, I think we are halfway down the journey. If we know what we want in life, we are done with it. मैंने बहुत सेशन सुने हैं, मैं वहाँ बैठा रहता था, मैं कहता क्या बातें कर रहे हैं यार, क्या लाइफ में क्या चाहिए इन्हें, क्या चाहिए. मैंने कहा चलो यार बाहर निकलते हैं, खान मार्केट में एक ड्रिंक लगाते हैं, मस्ती करके आते हैं. But I seriously realize it now that you have to have that clarity of thoughts, what you want in life, and then focus, commitment, dedication, hard work. These words do not have any replacement. You have to put in your 200% towards that goal. In the end, I would just like to say that think beyond your imagination, dream as big as you can. Believe you me, nothing is impossible. Thank you.
Thank you, Keshav, for sharing your inspiring story, and I think you have made it very clear that success cannot be achieved by a shortcut. You have to put in your best efforts to achieve that. As we are running short of time, I would only allow one question, and what we can do in the tea break, you can have a discussion with our panel members. But now in this session we are going to have only one question. If you have any question, please raise your hands very quickly. Any students? Otherwise we have one faculty member, but I would give preference to our students over faculty. Please go ahead. Yes. Can you pass on the mic?
So, as we all know, that our family and friends are always an integral part of our life. So, my question is, as an entrepreneur, how do you think your family and your friends play a role in the initial stage of a venture?
So you would like to answer? Anyone?
Sure. Can you please repeat your question?
Her question is that how important family is when you are starting a new venture.
See, since I'm not a first generation entrepreneur and I'm a second generation entrepreneur, so I would put it like that. I have that established base, so I am using that base to go to the next level. So I think the other speakers might want to put more light on that, because for me, family has played the most pivotal role. It's my father who's been my mentor. As Dipang said, that you need to have some mentor. My father has played as a mentor for me. So I got into the family business because of him. And there was complete support from the entire family. So I think family plays a very, very important and crucial role. But if you are a first generation entrepreneur, you've got different ideas. Yes, family will get into that how much funds to invest, ye kya kar raha hai, ye kya nahi kar raha hai. So you'll have to have that management skills. And if any other speaker would like to answer that question.
I think I'm a first generation entrepreneur, so I can slightly tell. First of all, if you work for a few years and you tell your family you want to do this, आधे लोग बोलेंगे पागल हो गया क्या? वाइस प्रेसिडेंट है जी कैपिटल में क्यों छोड़ के भाग रहा है? I mean, what's wrong with you? Forget it. But if they see that you are not going to listen to them, then you will find a good amount of support within the family. And honestly, what you need is just that your family accepts that you are making a choice, and you just want them there as a moral support, right? Okay. If you have really rich family members, it helps. If you have a cousin who's got 20 crores of money lying somewhere which is not able to do what well with, it helps a lot. If you are married to someone and whose father has a lot of money,
Last thing to add, when it comes to money, be it your father, friends, family, they only will invest if they see value. They're not going to invest until they see the value. They will see value. So you have to show them the value creation. Otherwise, no one would show. If you have the real value creation idea, I think 1,000 people will stand outside the door to fund you what you want to. That you need to figure out. That's all.
it's easier to take money from a VC or an angel than from family. One reason being, if it doesn't work and you got to repay back your father-in-law, it's more tougher. VC you can say, come on, Daddy, bomb.
On behalf of IILM, I would like to thank all our distinguished speakers for being part of this conference and sharing their insightful thoughts with us. We are really grateful to all of you. We will now have a very quick tea break, and I would request you all to reassemble at 12:30 for the next session.
Set amongst our students. So as a part of that endeavor, we have two groups of our postgraduate program students who will be presenting their business plans to us, and I request you to kindly observe.
Good afternoon everyone. It's our privilege to be a part of this conference and present our business plan in front of you today. my friend Nilanjana, who's an engineer, and I'm a soon-to-be postgraduate in MBA. So is she, of course. We intend to launch a website, an online website targeting the working population of Delhi NCR called the mysubsidy.com. So the idea is basically that these working population in the Delhi NCR area do not actually get the time to go and purchase their daily grocery items from the market, and they are also very health conscious at the same time. So this is the gap that we have identified, and we intend to fill that gap. The population of Delhi is approximately 22 million, of which approximately 7.26 million are the young working population in Delhi today. So we basically intend to launch a website that they can anytime log on to and order whatever items, grocery items that they would like to purchase, and we would provide them those items at their convenience at their stipulated time.
Yeah. So now we'll talk about the company. So the main objective of the company is to facilitate people. So here we are not just facilitating the young professionals like we were talking about. We are also facilitating the vendors. Actually, how the process works is like that the vendors have this potential market of people who are young and who are ready to buy fresh vegetables because they're health conscious. But because of the time constraint, or for example, if I have a job of 9 to 6 maybe, and my sabzi wala comes to me at around 10 or 8:30, so it is very difficult for me to go and buy vegetables at that time. So I would prefer something that would give me fresh vegetables at my preferred time. So the factors expected to make the business a success is first the business model itself that we were just talking about, and the target market, that young professionals that we were just talking about. And now we'll just talk about the services. So services is basically it is a website that facilitates people according to their time and convenience. So we just move on to the website. The dummy website looks like this. So actually what you do is you go and just you enter the website, you just enter the website, you just log in there and you make an account. So you have your name, your address and the product you need and the time, right? So after that you do that. In our database we have your all information. Then what happens that we actually contact the vendors, and the vendors at your time they reach at your doorstep and just give the product. So the whole revenue model is like that. For example, I buy a vegetable for maybe like 100 rupees. So the 10% of that or 15% of that is the convenience charge. So now we'll just talk about the organization structure. So organization has first of all the vendors. So the vendors may be the sabzi walas who go to the market, or the vendors may be the thela walas, right? And the executive, first of all we have one executive. It is a segment of executive, for example, who are actually maintaining the whole database. Second segment, like for example, we have this facility of people also calling us. So some people are taking the calls for us, and the top management are the innovators or the founders, like both of us. So we'll talk about the Salesforce strategy. So as we are talking about the vendors, so basically the Salesforce is basically the vendors will tie up with according to the area, location and the people we have at customers. Second, the people with low pay would depend on the people we have on board, like the customers we have. According that we have our vendors. And we just talk about the market analysis now.
Thanks, Nilanjana. So, to actually check the feasibility of our business plan, we did a market analysis and a competitor analysis to see how good an idea this is to actually launch this website. Would it actually be profitable for us or not? So, we did a market analysis. These are the various factors which we found to be crucial in the market that should be considered. The most important factor was the market trend, which we found to be shifting towards the fact that there are more and more people in the Indian population who are working today. So there is definitely this gap that we have identified, and it would be a good idea to launch this service for that. When we talk about the competitors on the broader scale, majorly the competitors that we have observed in Delhi NCR are the organized suppliers of the same grocery items. But the biggest problem with them is that you actually have to go to the stores to buy the products. So the main advantage of our website would be the time saving that we would be providing to our customers. And because we are targeting a very niche segment, we are targeting only those particular customers who are the working population and who do not typically have the time to go to these stores and purchase their products. Also, there are other competitors, there are other websites who are providing these services, but our basic USP, as I already mentioned, is the time. As Nilanjana also mentioned, if you just have to buy your items at 10 o'clock or 8:30, it may not be very practical for us. So we are providing that time convenience, and we are going to be charging a convenience charge for that, which is how we would be earning. Nilanjana will now take you through the sales and marketing plan that we have decided.
So basically the sales and marketing is basically horizontal strategy for market penetration. So the target market is basically the young population in metros. Maybe there are people who are living in PGs and all. So those people. As the price, we just talked about the convenience charge and how the price will be deducted from the actual the product they're buying, and there is this whole concept of transparency. That, for example, if I charge 10% of convenience charge, the customer knows that this is my convenience charge and this is what I'm paying for the vegetable. And for the promotion, we are using online and offline ventures. For example, for offline we have pamphlets. We go to the MNCs and we just distribute the pamphlet. For online we have Facebook pages, and we go to LinkedIn, and for the company website or the LinkedIn page we just advertise there. And for operations facilities, we would need a small office, a computer, and the main part is the server, that is the database server, and internet access and stationery, and of course you know that, and supply chain and the whole distribution channel. First of all, as we were talking about, in the first part we have the consumer logging to the website, then we have the database where the information is going, and then we have the vendors, and then last we have the whole channel. So the supply chain has zones, so that the vendors only give to their zones, and so that the consumers have the product at the best possible time. Now we'll talk about the financial part.
So taking you through the financial plan that we have actually created for our business idea. Okay, so as you can see, we've created a list of the estimated expenditures in the very first year itself. They are mainly, as Nilanjana cited, creating the website, then the executives that we would hire for maintaining our website. And also one thing that we need to mention is that we would also hire an office assistant to actually deal with the vendors and address their grievances. And we would have meetings on a monthly basis in the very beginning to address whatever problems they are facing, and they can always call us in case again they have any problems. Then talking about the initial investment, now we intend to actually going for 50% of our investment from our savings, 2,50,000 each, and 5 lakhs from angel investors, for which we are thinking of actually going to the IILM Entrepreneurship cell. After that, if we talk about the revenues, now projected revenues, as you see, we have calculated for the year. It is about 10,000 rupees per day into 30 into 12, which comes out to 36,000. The units are thousands, of course. So of this, 15% is the convenience charge that we intend to charge. So 15% is what we would be earning, and that is approximately 5,400 thousands again. Then we have calculated the gross margin by finding the difference between the revenues and the expenditures, and done a cost benefit analysis, and that seems to be a good idea for us basically. So after that, we just have a look at the roadmap that we have charted for our business idea. So we intend to launch this website in 2014. We have actually spoken with other people, other engineers who are into website designing and creation, and so we intend to launch our website in 2014. And as Nilanjana mentioned, we are probably going to go in for promotion, offline promotion through pamphlets and online promotion through Facebook pages and LinkedIn pages, etc. 2015, after we've got a certain market for our service, we intend to launch additional units of daily usage to our product list, such as milk, bread, etc. Again, for which we will follow a similar business plan, and we'll have tie-ups with the vendors directly. And in 2016, we intend to have some online gateways. The plan as of now is, because it's just something completely new, we are only going to have a cash on delivery system. But in 2016, when our business is a little established, we intend to have online payment gateways, and we provide that facility to our consumers or users. And also we have observed a greater trend shifting towards the use of mobile applications instead of internet. So there may be people who would find it more convenient to just open their phone and quickly just order whatever they want on their mobile phone than actually open the website. So we intend to do that after we have achieved break-even, and in 2016 itself. So this is basically our business idea. I hope you all agree with it as much as we do. Thank you.
Thank you, Meher and Nilanjana. Now we have another group with us who will be presenting their idea on medical tourism.
Everybody, I'm Guneet Singh from IILM PG2, and today along with my teammates, I'm here to present a business plan in medical tourism. To give you a brief idea, I would like to show you a short video.
With the cost of medical treatment 65 to 90% less than the US and Europe, India has positioned itself as a destination for medical treatment. The Indian medical tourism industry is expected to reach $6 billion by 2018, with the number of people coming to the country for medical treatment set to double over the next 4 years. The current size of the medical tourism industry in India, in value terms, is estimated at a little over $3 billion, with tourist arrivals estimated at 230,000 in 2013. Top specialties for medical travelers are cosmetic surgery, dentistry, cardiovascular, and orthopedics. Medical tourism is an area that the NDA government plans to tap to drive growth in tourism, and promised that it would build 50 tourism circuits, including a medical circuit, which will connect hubs of modern and Ayurvedic medicine. The medical tourism segment is projected to grow at a compounded annual growth rate of 20% between 2014 and 2018. India is ranked 5th among top medical tourism destinations, beat by Singapore at 4th, the US at 3rd, Mexico at 2nd, and Thailand coming in 1st. Indian private hospitals have a large pool of skilled doctors, nurses, and supporting staff that attract medical tourists, especially from Southeast Asia and the Middle East. All these factors are likely to boost the number of medical tourists coming to India to an estimated 4 lakh by 2018.
As you all saw in the video, the healthcare services is an upcoming segment, and therefore our business idea is to provide a platform to connect international patients and their families with healthcare services in India. We have come up with a company whose key features are going to be to provide a one-stop platform, assisting patients throughout their treatment, providing world-class services at affordable cost, and provide a trustworthy hand that guide patients.
This would be the call center. The second would be the tie-up with the hospitals and the diagnostic centers, and the third would be the travel schedule. The call center is the place where we're going to have inbound and outbound calls from the international patients. We also have a different platform for business queries and the customer queries onto our websites. The solving their problems onto the call center by the technical staffs. The diagnosis centers and the hospital tie-up, we're going to have NHS of US, UK and Canada, which enhance our customer database. For the travel schedule, we have medical visas, arrival to India. We have So let me start with the whole process of how the business plan will work. Starting with the patient call. From the contact on the website, we have given the consultation and the doctors. From that, the designing the whole profile of the patients, their background, and from that just a second. Okay, the profile of the patient, then the whole hospital treatment, and till their departure from the country. Our initial services would be on the Delhi NCR region. Our major hospital would be Apollo, escorts all the private hospitals who have a fair treatment of cosmetics and orthopedics. We have our base in Delhi NCR, but the future perspective would be definitely the metro cities of Chennai, Bangalore and Hyderabad. Our focus on hospitality is just to provide a superior consumer services and experience to the customers. As we all aware, the patients are coming with their attendants, so providing them a solution so that they can take care of basic services like pick up and drop services, language translators, hotels and airport transfers.
A video that we showed previously. So it's a $3 billion industry, a blend of medical industry and a tourism industry, and is about to grow. It's about to double its revenue, about $6 billion in 2018. So India ranks number 2 in Asia and number 5 in the world, and it's growing at a rate of 20% per annum, compounded annual growth rate. So as we can see in the graph, the industry life cycle is at its growth stage, so it's the best time to tap the market and enter the industry. And also if you see the patient inflow, it has shown an increasing upward trend, so it's the best opportunity to grab this business idea. So the government also supports this industry a lot as it favors the tourism and favors the doctors and the medical industry in India as well. So the government provides favorable tax laws and higher depreciation rates on licensing equipments. So the revenue generation. Sorry, come back.
Now let us talk about the competitive analysis. As we all can see that medical tourism is a growing industry and hence the degree of competition is very high. Malaysia and Thailand are the major competitors for India as they are the nearby countries. Direct competition from similar agencies is also very prominent. Our competitive advantage is going to be our location in Delhi and NCR. We are going to use the latest technology with trained and qualified doctors. India is becoming an upcoming market. India is becoming an upcoming market. It has a rich and cultural heritage. Services can be provided at low cost. There's world-class quality that can be provided at reasonable prices. Our target market is mostly old-age people looking for complex and semi-complex surgeries, dental and orthopedics. Young patients looking for cosmetic and laser surgeries. Our main audience is people from underdeveloped and developing nations. The main barriers to our entry into this segment is the huge amount of startup capital required, getting a pool of experienced and professional staff, and getting tie-ups with foreign institutions and other major concerns. So we're just going to come back in like 15-20 minutes. Really sorry. Thank you so much.
We'll now go on with our next session. So I would like to invite the session moderator, Ms. Rumki Banerjee, to